There are some things in life that we keep holding onto long after they have stopped helping us grow. We hold on to relationships that constantly drain us. We hold on to habits that slowly destroy our peace. We hold on to old wounds, old mistakes, and old versions of ourselves because we are afraid of what will happen if we finally let go. Sometimes we know deep down that something is no longer good for us, but we continue investing our time, energy, and emotions into it because it feels familiar. But there comes a moment when you have to ask yourself an honest question. Is this still helping me become who God created me to be, or is it keeping me stuck? Not everything that was part of your past is meant to be part of your future. Some things were only meant for a season. Some doors were meant to teach you something, not become your permanent home. And sometimes the greatest act of faith is not holding on tighter. It is trusting God enough to release what He is asking you to surrender. Today, we are going to talk about the things that may no longer deserve your time, your energy, and your attention, and how letting go can create space for God to bring something new into your life. One of the hardest lessons many people learn is that just because something was once good doesn't mean it is still good for you today. A relationship may have brought you happiness years ago, but now it constantly brings confusion and pain. A dream you once chased may have been meaningful at one point, but now God may be leading you in a different direction. A habit that once felt harmless may now be keeping you from becoming the person you want to be. We often struggle with letting go because we attach our identity to things we have invested in. We think, I spent so many years on this, or I gave so much of myself to this person, so walking away feels like admitting defeat. But letting go does not mean your time was wasted. Every season teaches you something. Every experience shapes you. Every challenge can produce wisdom. God can use even the things that didn't last to prepare you for what is coming next. Sometimes the purpose of a season is not for it to continue forever, but for it to help you grow. Many people stay stuck because they confuse patience with refusing to move forward. Patience is trusting God's timing, but sometimes we use patience as an excuse to remain in situations God is asking us to leave. There is a difference between waiting on God and waiting for something that God has already told you to release. Sometimes we keep praying for God to change something that He is asking us to surrender. We ask Him to fix a situation, but He is trying to change our direction. We ask Him to restore something, but He is trying to protect us from something. This is why wisdom is so important. Faith is not only believing that God can open doors. Faith is also trusting Him when He closes them. A closed door can be painful, but it can also be protection. Sometimes God removes things from our lives not because He wants to hurt us, but because He sees what we cannot see. One thing that is no longer worth your time is constantly trying to prove yourself to people who have already decided not to understand you. Many people spend years exhausting themselves trying to gain approval from others. They change who they are, hide their struggles, and sacrifice their peace just to be accepted. But the truth is, you cannot control everyone's opinion of you. Even Jesus was misunderstood by people who saw His actions but didn't understand His heart. Your worth does not come from people's approval. It comes from knowing that God created you with purpose. The right people will not require you to destroy yourself just to be accepted. The right relationships will encourage your growth, strengthen your faith, and bring you closer to who God called you to become. Stop spending your entire life chasing validation from people who were never assigned to define your value. Another thing that may no longer deserve your time is constantly living in the past. Many people are physically present in today but emotionally trapped in yesterday. They replay old mistakes, old disappointments, and old pain over and over again. They wonder, what if I had made a different decision? Or what if things had gone another way? But the past cannot be changed. What happened cannot be rewritten, but your future can still be shaped by what you choose today. God is not asking you to ignore your past. He is asking you not to allow your past to control your future. Your mistakes can become lessons. Your pain can become wisdom. Your failures can become testimonies. The enemy wants you to believe that your worst moments define you, but God sees the complete story. He sees the person you are becoming, not just the person you used to be. Sometimes the thing that is no longer worth your time is the constant worry about things you cannot control. We spend so much energy trying to predict the future, fix every problem, and carry every burden ourselves. We worry about tomorrow while missing the grace God has given us today. But worry does not add strength to your life. It only steals the peace you already have. This does not mean we should be careless or stop planning. Wisdom and preparation are important. But there is a difference between responsibility and anxiety. Responsibility says, I will do what I can and trust God with the rest. Anxiety says, everything depends on me. God never designed you to carry the weight of the entire world on your shoulders. Some battles belong in His hands. Some outcomes belong to Him. Your job is to be faithful, not to control everything. There are also moments when God asks us to release things because He wants to make room for something greater. Imagine trying to fill a room that is already crowded with things you no longer need. There is no space for anything new. Sometimes our lives are the same way. We ask God for new opportunities, new blessings, and new growth, but we are still holding on to things that are preventing us from receiving them. We hold on to bitterness, fear, unhealthy relationships, and old mindsets. We ask God to bring change while refusing to release what keeps us comfortable. Growth requires space. A new season often requires an old season to end. This can be painful because we naturally want to keep everything familiar. But God knows what needs to leave so that something better can take its place. Another thing that may no longer be worth your time is comparing your journey to someone else's. Comparison has a way of making you feel behind, even when God is working perfectly in your life. You see someone else's success and begin questioning your own progress. You see someone else's answered prayer and wonder why yours has not happened yet. But God is not writing the same story for everyone. Your timeline is different because your purpose is different. A seed does not become a tree overnight. Growth takes time. Preparation takes time. Healing takes time. Don't abandon your journey because someone else's journey looks faster. The God who is working in their life is also working in yours. Trust that He knows what you need when you need it and how to prepare you for it. Sometimes the hardest thing to let go of is the version of yourself that you have outgrown. We become attached to who we used to be because it feels familiar. But God is constantly inviting us into growth. The person you were 5 years ago may not be the person God is calling you to become today. Your old mindset may no longer fit your new season. Your old choices may no longer align with your new purpose. Growth can feel uncomfortable because it requires change. It requires admitting that some things need to be different. But transformation is part of God's work in our lives. A caterpillar cannot become a butterfly while refusing to leave its old form. In the same way, we cannot become who God created us to be if we refuse to release what is holding us back. If something constantly steals your peace, pulls you away from God, damages your purpose, or keeps you trapped in fear, it may be time to ask whether it is still worth your time. This doesn't mean every difficult thing should be abandoned. Some challenges are part of growth. Some seasons require perseverance. But there is wisdom in recognizing when something has completed its purpose in your life. God does not call us to hold on to everything forever. Sometimes obedience looks like staying. Sometimes obedience looks like walking away. The key is seeking His guidance and trusting His direction. The things God removes are not always punishments. Sometimes they are preparations. Sometimes He takes away what is comfortable because He is leading you towards something that is better. Remember this, letting go is not always losing. Sometimes letting go is making room for God. The empty space you fear may become the space where healing begins. The ending you are grieving may become the beginning you never expected. The door that closed may be the door that protected you from the wrong path. Trust that God sees what you cannot see. He knows what belongs in your life and what needs to be released. You do not have to carry everything into your next season. Some things were only meant to teach you, not follow you. Give God permission to remove what is no longer helping you grow. Give Him your fears, your attachments, and your unanswered questions. Because when you release what is no longer worth your time, You create space for the peace, purpose, and blessings that God has been preparing for you all along. Today, I want you to remember that your future is too valuable to keep investing in things God is asking you to release. Your time is precious. Your energy is precious. Your purpose is precious. Don't spend your life trying to revive things that God has already closed. Don't keep begging for acceptance from people who don't see your value. Don't keep carrying burdens that God asked you to surrender. There is freedom waiting on the other side of letting go. God is not taking something from you to leave you empty. He is removing what is holding you back so He can prepare you for what is ahead. Trust His process. Trust His timing. Trust that every ending in God's hands can become the beginning of something greater. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to Anything Godly, share this with someone who needs encouragement today, and continue growing with us as we discover more truths about faith, healing, and walking with God. Remember, what God removes is never greater than what He is preparing to give you. God bless you.